Hey, Peyton. It's good to be back with you on this beautiful day. This time with a quote by Alan Watts. He says, "The meaning of life is just to be alive." It is so plain and obvious and so simple. And yet everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. Followed by a quote from James Clear: "The secret is not to find the meaning of life, but to use your life to make things that are meaningful." Peyton, share your beautiful ideas on these quotes, please.
If I don't have any beautiful ideas, I'll at least share some ideas. So, this is a really ever present drive within our species. This whole question of what is the meaning of my life? Am I doing enough with my life? What is the highest purpose that I should be applying my efforts to and energy to, and blah, blah, blah. And like with many things, there is a balance for us to strike with this. Obviously, we don't want to do absolutely nothing. We don't want to throw on a VR headset and completely unplug from our existence and not interact with the real world. We want to go hard, lean into pain, try to reach our fullest potential, apply ourselves, get into flow, learn, grow, strive, stretch, and fully leverage the gifts and talents that we've been given with courage and not cower from the difficulties of existence and trying to do big things. But at the same time, within all of us, and some of us more than others, there's a psychological problem that often masquerades as a philosophical problem. And that is this question of the meaning of life. Am I doing something meaningful? And what does this mean? What does it mean to do something that is worth spending our life on? And in the end, there's different ways to try to solve this problem. We can go through the more normal way of trying to solve this problem, which is looking externally for this meaning of life. This can I strive? Can I do? Can I build? Can I leave a legacy? And this inevitably leads to dissatisfaction. If we try to find our meaning, our fulfillment from the external world, we will be drinking salt water for our whole life. And even if we get really good at it, we will still be drinking salt water. And it will be just self-delusion if we think that we can find something that will ultimately fulfill us based off of some external event, some external achievement, something that can be seen and touched on the outside. It won't fulfill us. And this is kind of an Ozymandias effect in its in its case when we try to talk about it to others. When we say, "Look at this thing that I've done. Look at this thing that I've achieved. Look at this thing that I've built. Look at how impressive I am. I'm going to last forever." And obviously, this is in reference to a poem, or there was a king that lived many years ago, and by the time that the person speaking in the poem is there, he's seeing this ruins all around him in a barren desert, and this statue that's broken lying on the ground with an inscription that says, "Look at me, I'm Ozymandias. Look at me in despair. I'm almighty, I'm all powerful. I will live and last forever." And the irony is, by the time that he's read this, the king has already faded, he's been forgotten, he has left very little impact on the setting around except this delusional statement that he is going to leave an impact on everything around him. And this is a king. This is this is a higher bar than any of us are likely to actually achieve in our lifetime in terms of the power, in terms of the bragging rights, in terms of the external status, any of this stuff. None of us are going to be kings. At least I'm not in my life. I'm playing much, much smaller games. But still, it's common to play this story in my head that what I'm doing is of ultimate importance. And this is where I should try to find the meaning of my life. This is how I should try to define myself. This is where I should seek fulfillment. But this is not going to work. It's not a good strategy. Despite the fact that it's culturally close to ubiquitous, we're not going to find our ultimate fulfillment from money. We're not going to find our ultimate fulfillment from status. We're not going to find our ultimate fulfillment from achievement. And focus on these things, to focus on the destination, the external world, the accomplishment, the thing that we want to get, the prize, the pot of gold at the end of this rainbow, this actually takes our attention and our awareness away from the thing that actually can nourish us in this sense. And that is our own direct experience, our own awareness, the journey as opposed to the destination, the experience as opposed to what we try to cash the experience in for. And when we see our life and everything we're doing as a means to an end, and we think that the end will fulfill us, then we are going to be spinning around in the circle and we're never going to arrive. Because as soon as we get to this milestone that we want, now we've moved the goalpost and we want this next thing. As soon as we get this big house, now we want an even bigger house. As soon as we build a $1 million company, now we want a $10 million company and a $100 million company and a $1 billion company. And even the people that have a $1 billion company, they look over at Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk and they feel lacking. They want more and more and more. And ultimately, we're never going to get to a place on the external world, if that's where we're looking for fulfillment, where we're like, oh yeah, I've achieved it, I have it at hand. This external thing has finally ultimately fulfilled me and given me meaning. It doesn't work. We a lot of the times think that it will work and try to kind of prioritize by with that end, with that logic in mind, but it's a delusion. And ultimately, it's the ego who wants to have something to, has a story to tell about itself, has something to brag about, has something concrete and rigid and solid in the external world that it can point to and identify with and wrap itself around and brag about and tell this story to itself about and prove to itself and others. And these things are never going to be satisfactory. They're hollow. Whereas the direct experience that we can have, a connection with awareness, a sensation of love and oneness with ourselves and others, this actually does deliver the goods of fulfillment, of happiness, of love, of meaning, but not in a way that we can point to it, put it on the outside, and hold on to it, grasp it, turn it into a rigid object. This is something that we can only receive by giving ourselves to it. We can only embrace this by allowing it to flow and allowing it to not remain fixed and rigid. And so we do ultimately have to have the faith that we don't need to create something in the external world. We don't have to turn our whole life into a means to an end if we want to actually drink from the fountain of life, drink from the fountain of awareness and of the Holy Spirit, or however we want to think about it. And if we choose this external thing, if we make some goal of ours into our object of worship, our object of, this is what I'm putting my faith in to make me fulfilled or to make me happy or to bring meaning to my life, we are always going to be fooled. It's never going to work for us. We're never going to actually ultimately arrive in a place where we're like, oh yeah, now that I have that, I feel great forever. My life is all meaningful. No. Meaning and fulfillment, connection, love, these are all a dance. These are all a flow. They're not meant to be something that we achieve and then we rest on our laurels forever. We have it in a box, in our trophy case, and we never have to do anything again. And it's secured, it's locked. That's not how these things work. We can connect with a nourishment, a meaning, a love, a connection, if we can accept that all things are always changing and the juice that we can receive from this fruit of life is something that we can only receive in flow. We can never receive rigidly in a box, in a concept, in something that we can put over there and always look back at and keep locked down. And that, in my opinion, is a lot about how we can think about the meaning of life. This experience that we have is self-meaningful, is self-fulfilling, is nourishing to us at a deep, deep level if we fully relinquish, fully surrender, fully give ourselves to it. Stop trying to put it in a box. Stop trying to find it externally. Look within and realize that there is nothing lacking in this moment. Right now, everything is exactly as it is. It is the present. This is reality. It is the now. And it's perfect, exactly as it is. It can't be any other way. And when we give ourselves to it, when we offer ourselves to it, when we can have faith in that, That, in my opinion, is when we can experience true sensation of meaning, of fulfillment, of connection, of everything being just right now. And so that's a lot how I think about this. It's a very easy thing to get blinded about, and frankly, most of the time I lose sight of this myself. And it's something that's super conditioned in us to look for fulfillment, to look for satisfaction outside, to want some event, to want some item, to want some possession, to want some perfect person that's always perfect and never changes and that we can put in a box and we can control and we can know that there's never any issue that we're going to have with them. We want this security. We want to control things. We want to know exactly how the future is going to play out. We want to keep stuff in hand and put in our pocket and never have any risk to it all. But doesn't work. That's not how things are. Everything's always changing. And so for us to be able to connect and fully engage and find this feeling of everything is just right, we first have to see how reality is and connect with reality on reality's terms. And so this is quite a journey for us all. Definitely not something natural to me, but it is a wonderful gift that this present moment, this now, this awareness, consciousness is always readily available to us. If we can drop our need to lean only on our own strength, only on our own knowledge, and try to control everything and do it on our own and brag about it to ourselves, then we can actually give ourselves to this wonderful gift that we have, this opportunity to really feel the love and meaning that is available to us. Anyways, our connections are poor. One of us is on an island in Mexico, and this internet issue actually could be my fault, despite the fact that I'm in Ohio. But we may record these separately. If we do, I look forward to hearing your thoughts, my man. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day on an island in the Caribbean. And also, may we enjoy some beautiful, nourishing meaning to our lives this week and connect with the excellent experience that is always and already available to us. Thank you very much.
Hey, Peyton, thanks for all these beautiful thoughts. And you beautifully put it that you only can receive a gift to the amount you give yourself to it. So, meaning of life also means giving somehow, giving yourself to yourself, to the outside world. But if you look externally to satisfy your meaning, you will be dissatisfied. You will stay dissatisfied because everyone else has something more beautiful and so on. And you tend to compare yourself. But if you look internally and only compare yourself to who you are, and only compare yourself to the potential that you can discover, then it delivers much more meaning to yourself. And we have to use our lives to make things that are meaningful as well. So this is the creativity part of it as well. We create. We are beings that have a way of being, and with the possibility to exemplify positive expectations toward the outcome of what we want to create. So this is a whole act of creation as well. It is inherently, there is no meaning in the universe or in the things we do or whatever. But the creative act is to give meaning to it, to pour yourself into it, to pour a story into it, and to create meaning a beautiful way. And therefore, I propose that how we can deal with things that come towards us, or how we can deal with things that we are currently creating or doing, is to be some kind of optimist about it, to have some kind of agnostic optimism about it, even if you don't know whether things will turn out to have any effect, any positive effect or any negative effect, even if you don't know it, expecting that the best is yet to come, and expecting that Hey, I don't judge. This happened right now. I can do whatever I want with it, but I choose to do the best thing I can do with it. So, because I believe the best is yet to come, because I believe I'm the creator of the meaning of my life, so I can give this damn thing meaning that just happened to me. I can give it meaning, and I will wait for the next step. Maybe something will reveal itself to be much more positive than I thought, and in a way that I never have would have like anticipated. So this kind of agnostic optimism also is a helpful tool to help us create meaning within our own lives. And as we talked about passion last time, and that passion is a side effect of mastery, like only when you do the things, the passion will come and follow your steps because you master the thing. The same similarly applies to meaning. If you do a thing over and over and over, then it inherently becomes meaningful to you because you choose to do it over and over again, because you kind of identify yourself with it in a way that you identify yourself as a craftsman, because you're proud of your craft, so that you can create this unique kind of beauty with which you can serve the world. So, in this sense that we create the meaning in our lives, we also, um, it's not necessary to judge everything by the consequences we perceive, because sometimes we do not know what will happen. So, heck, we could even expect the best things to happen. And why not? Why is it? Why does life have to be always this grandeur of beautiful moments, whatever, of travels or of career, of building companies, whatsoever? It could even be meaningful to create beautiful moments with your loved ones. Could be even meaningful to give and receive with an open heart. Even meaningful to breathe just this one breath. So, meaning of life is just to be alive. And how better to celebrate this with just one breath. And as we go into our daily lives, I want to encourage ourselves, just always value the small stuff as well. Small, little, tiny details which enrich our lives and also have the possibility to give meaning to it. Like a hug with a loved one, love and kisses, and beautiful walks on the beach, deep conversations with a friend, and all these little things that make up our lives also have the possibility to give meaning to it. If we decide to give meaning to it, if we invite it to be meaningful part of our life's journey. So with agnostic optimism, I don't know whether these internet connections are good or bad, but let's see how they will turn out. I wish we have a wonderful week of reflection and of deep meaning, not judging whether things that come along are good or bad, so that we can use them as bricks to build our beautiful house of meaning and go on with our lives. This time, from this last few days on this beautiful Caribbean island, Peyton, I wish you have a great week as well. Thanks for the conversation. Uh,
Thanks, my friend. It's been a pleasure as always. May we find meaning within and not look for it outside of us. Look for it in the present, in the now, and not try to cling on to an idea about the past or the future for it. So, appreciate you very much. Thank you for these ideas. and may we take them into the week and incorporate them more and more every day. Appreciate you, my man. Good talking to you.
Appreciate you. Good talking to you, bro.
Take
See ya.
care.